See you all gathered here. I see a few of you are already here. And it's time for us to start. So that is great. Let's see. I see Maurice, Kritka, Nikki. Nikki, I know who you are. Nice to see you. Lynn, glad you're here. Marion, nice to see you. Deborah. Hey, Deborah, my neighbor. Glad you're here. Let's see. Dawn, glad you're here. Jean, nice to see you. Okay, and we'll welcome people as they come in. Erin, nice to see you. So we've got people who are like in my town, and we got people who are all over the world. Providencia, so happy to see you. I hope you're keeping well in Connecticut. Glad you're here. So, this is our Cards and Conversation Tarot Meetup. Dina, nice to see you. And Provi used to come to Tarot Circle in Connecticut, so she's done a lot of our in-person tarot meetups as well. So Cards and Conversation is something that we normally do right here in Palm City at Panera. And of course, during this time of social distancing, we've moved it online. Even once we are able to meet in person again, we will continue these monthly meetings because there's so much fun. Hey, Samantha the Card Girl, you're in the right place. Shannon, glad you're here. Okay, hey, Leisha Smile, glad to see you here. TK, glad you're here. Nicola, glad you're here. Thank you guys all so much. Lori, glad to see you. So here's what we're going to be doing today. I have a few things planned, but I'm also open to your questions and the things that you would like to cover. Typically, in the first part of these meetings, hey, Brenda Elizabeth, nice to see you. Dee, glad you're here. Typically, in the beginning of these meetings, we start with what we call burning questions. Hey, Martha, nice to see you. We start with burning questions. Now, a burning question could be a number of things. Hey, Nancy, glad you're here. A burning question could be anything that you would want to ask a room full of tarot readers. Hey, Kim, glad you're here. And, for folks who are watching in archive, we appreciate you as well. Irene, glad you're here. So, we start with burning questions. Anything you would want to ask a room full of tarot readers. So that could be, TK, you were in Brenda's meditation. That's so good. Excellent. So that could be a question about the cards, a question about a reading you did, a question about a card you don't understand, or a particular card deck, or a way of working with the cards, or a technique. Any question at all you would want to ask a room full of tarot readers. The other sort of question you might want to ask a room full of tarot readers would be about a reading, having a particular reading, a particular question for a reading. Hey, Carol, nice to see you. So now is the time to chat in your questions. We'll spend, the first half hour, 45 minutes something with those questions. So any questions about tarot cards, or any questions for a reading. Hey, Jill, nice to see you. After that, the things I would like to work on today, we had said, hey, Karishma, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Glad you're here. And Nicola's coming in with a burning question. We'll start with that one. After we get through our burning question time, I had a couple of things I wanted to work with, and we're going to close today with a tarot healing ritual for the world, for all of those who are sick, for our economy, for everything that's going on here. And so we will be doing some tarot healing magic at the end. And that will be instructive as regards the cards and as regards the concept of tarot magic. But it will also be a time for us to work together to raise energy. Okay, hey TK, thank you for inviting your friend from India. Very good. So Dina has a good question regarding tarot. let us do a reading for Nicola, and then we're going to get to Dina's question. And so here's the thing, folks, because we have 30 people here right this minute, and thank you all so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And 31 now. And the thing is this, we're going to have a lot of, hey, David, glad you're here. It's okay. You just missed the preamble. You haven't missed anything. So here's the thing. We're going to have numerous conversations going on at the same time. So when you chat in, if you're doing a reading, if you're making a comment about something, make sure you preface your comment with what we're talking about, with what you're talking about. So if you're reading for someone, you're going to put their name first so we know it's a reading for them. If you're answering a question about the cards, if we're talking about a particular card, put the name of the card we're talking about, because we'll probably talk about more than one card. If you're offering, hey, Sonia, glad to see you. If you're offering some insight, Ayana, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Glad you're here. If we're talking about a particular tarot technique, preface your comment with that so we can keep it all straight. So let's start with a reading for Nicola. And this is how we're going to do this. And for those of you who come to our Global Tarot Circle on Facebook Live, you'll be familiar with this technique. Right, Jill, we're trying to cut down on the confusion, right? I'm easily confused. That's the case. And I've set this session for 90 minutes, so we'll be here for an hour and a half. Hey, Style and Chica, Peely, so happy to see you. Hope you're doing well in this difficult time. So, this is what we're going to do for Nicola and for anyone else who chats in looking for a reading. And for readings today, we want a specific question. Formulate a question. Don't just say, hey, can you read for me? Oh, good. Ayana, I got your name correct. That's good. I don't like to mispronounce people's names. Okay, so what we'll do, if you would like to join in reading, our first reading is going to be for Nicola. We're each going to do a single card. So if you would like to join in helping Nicola, no, Karen, TK, you have to say what your question is. You don't just get to say as usual. Okay. So if you want to read for Nicola, you're going to put her name, Nicola, the name of the card you pulled in your interpretation. If we read for you, I'm going to obviously do it verbally, but then it's your job to scroll through the comments, interact with the other people who are reading for you, read what they have to say, and speak with them. Okay, so Nicola's burning question. What is the future for the company I currently work for as a result of the lockdown we are in? So if you would like to read for Nicola, hey, David, happy birthday. Glad you're here. Everyone say happy birthday to David. If you would like to read for Nicola, go ahead and put her name, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. What is the future for the company she works for as a result of the current lockdown? Lori, can we ask about what the universe wants us to know for the coming week? Yeah, you can. That's a specific enough question. Okay, very good. And we've got Jill reading for Nicola already. Okay, let's see. Okay, what is the future for the company? 6 of Pentacles reversed. There is a problem. There will be a fiscal problem. They may need to cut back. They may need to take loans. It may create some job insecurity. Okay. And again, Nicola, you can go and scroll through and see what other people have to say. Okay. And I didn't see who it came from, but the suggestion to use the @ signal with the person's name for who you're reading for. So that's a great idea. Okay, now here's a question about tarot. Would love to hear. And again, if you're reading for someone, say what card you pulled, but also your interpretation. Okay. Here's a question about tarot, you guys. What are your favorite spreads for a 30-minute reading? And I'll tell you something, how I work. For me, it does not matter if I'm doing a 3-minute reading, a 10-minute reading, a 30-minute reading, or an hour. I always start with the same 11-card spread. What I do is I like to have a lot of cards in a spread, and I don't necessarily give every card the same weight. I may not, if I have a 3-minute reading or a 5-minute reading I'm not going to interpret every card, but I've got those 11 cards so I can go to what seems most important at the time. So a longer like a longer time for the reading, I have more time to dig into that spread. So for me, like a lot of people say, well, the less time you have, the fewer cards you're going to use. For me, I use the same number of cards to start all the time. But how deep I go into the cards and how many of the cards I might actually talk about or use will depend on how much time I have and how important each thing seems to me. That's how I do it. How do you guys do it? What is your favorite spread for a 30-minute reading? And that's a question from Dina. Okay. Okay, very good. Looking for questions. Okay, Karishma is the next question. Karishma has a particular person that they're wanting to marry, and the question is, will these two get married? So if you'd like to read for Karishma, go ahead and put Karishma's name, and the idea of using the @ signal I think is good, so @Karishma. The name of the card you got and your interpretation. Do we think a marriage will take place? And hey, Linda, nice to see you. Glad you're here. And we've got some people chatting in regarding how they handle a 30-minute reading, so definitely check that out as well. Okay. Let's see what we got. Karishma, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Will you marry this person? Strength reversed. There may be some issues there. I don't know if those are family issues or issues in the relationship, but I think if that's going to happen, there are some things that need to be worked out first. Before you look toward the marriage, I think there's some things about the relationship. Whether it's between the two of you or the families or the situation that need to be worked out first. We have an expression here in the U.S., don't put the cart ahead of the horse. Okay, very good. Okay, for Jean, how will COVID affect the East Hampton, Massachusetts as an artistic community? So if you'd like to read for Jean, you can go ahead and put the @ Jean. And we want to know, how will the East Hampton, Massachusetts artistic community be affected by the COVID pandemic? If you'd like to read for her, put her name, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. Let's see what we got here. 5 of Swords, it will be a battle. And I think especially a battle just because so much of what happens with arts is live and in person. So it's a battle, but it's a battle that can be fought and won. And I just have to tell a quick story. I have a client who is a dance teacher in the public school system in New York. And we were doing a reading and she's like, we have a recital we had to cancel. How do I teach dance online? And I said, okay, what you have to do is get these kids to put together a video. No recital, it's got to be a video on YouTube. Well, she sent me a link to it, and it was fabulous. They did a great job. They really did it. They were able to take their creativity and move it online where each person danced alone to a segment of the song. It was edited together and it was beautiful. And so, creative people have to find a way to keep themselves going creatively. That's the thing. Okay, Samantha the card girl. I would like a reading from someone outside the situation. Yeah, that's what we're here to do, for sure. I'm going into business with a friend who practices Reiki. Is there anything I need to know or need to be aware of for it to be successful? So if you'd like to read for Samantha, at Samantha, name of the card you got and your interpretation. And again, if we're reading for you or answering a question, just go ahead and scroll through and interact with the people who are reading for you and answering those questions so you can get your full reading. Okay, very good. So, what about going into business with this person? 10 of Pentacles. To me, that's a very, very positive card here for going into business, that this is something that you could really do together, that you could make money. I would see this card as very encouraging. That's what I have to say. Okay, let me scroll through. Okay, TK. And TK here is Karen Tillich. Christiana, my questions is about my next 3 months in job and my plan to move north by July, August. And I always say the same thing. We're going to miss you when you go, TK. And so here you can just put his name as Karen, Karan. If you'd like to read for him. Knight of Swords, going forward. I think you'll be fine. I think you'll be fine in your job and you'll be fine in your move. I think it'll work out. Okay, Sherry Berry, nice to see you here. Okay. What do we think? Is there an end to the pandemic quarantine in the U.S. soon? I would love to get people's ideas on this. If you'd like to read on that question, and that really affects all of us here in the U.S., but if you would like to read on that, go ahead at Sherry Berry, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. What do we think? When is this going to end here in the U.S.? The Magician. To me, this says we have the tools, the skills, and the abilities to end it. We just have to do it, that we can end it pretty quickly if we do what we're supposed to do. Okay, David Victor, today is my solar return. Once again, happy birthday. Is there anything the universe wants me to know on my birthday? Like why I'm here? Every time I start doing what I thought I was here for, I get blocked. Okay, so a birthday reading for David. And Betty, nice to see you here. A birthday reading for David. What does the universe want David to know on his solar return? If you'd like to read for him, at David Victor, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. Hey, Rosas, nice to see you here. Six of Swords reverse, David. So yeah, you often feel blocked or stuck. And with the Six of Swords, the message really is that there is something in your emotional mind that sort of gets caught up in that stuck feeling. The key with the Six of Swords to turn it right side up and move forward is about placing logic over emotion. And you're a very psychic person. And I think there's a lot of very psychic people. Yeah, a lot of very psychic people here in this room right now. And hey, and we're 48 of us, so there's a lot of people in the room, and I appreciate all of you being here. So we psychic people very often will struggle with overthinking, anxiety, depression. Right now, especially feeling the weight of the world on our shoulders. And a lot of that is sort of sinking into that murky emotional place. It's important. This is not just for David, it's for all of us. It's important for all of us to find a way to rise above that. And very often, logical thought, clear mental focus is what is needed to make that happen. Okay. Okay, Lori wants to know, what does the universe want her to know about the upcoming week? If you'd like to read for Lori Hahn, at Lori Hahn, one card. What does the universe want her to know for the upcoming week? Seven of Wands reversed. You know, I always interpret the Seven of Wands reversed as your friends are with you. Even if you're feeling lonely, even if you're in that place of social distancing, you have friends, you are loved and supported, Lori. And TK Karen says, I overthink 24/7 and lost a lot of hair too young. But you're still adorable. Okay. Lot of good stuff going on here. Hey, Divine, nice to see you. Okay. Here's a question from Sonia. And I thank all of you for participating in this and doing the readings and having this conversation. We're up to 50 people in the room here, so I'm so grateful for that. And we will again be doing this once a month here, even when we're able to meet again in person at Panera. We'll still be doing this gathering once a month because it's fun to gather with our people from all over the world. Okay, so Sonia, I've been meaning to know about this new person I just met. I want to know if there's a potential future for me with this person. We're still getting to know each other. I just want to know if this is worth it. Okay, so if you'd like to read for Sonia, at Sonia Singh, one card. What do you think with this new person? Is it worth it? Could it work? Is there a future here? What do you think? Three of Pentacles. I think it is absolutely worth getting to know this person and seeing it could work. Okay, let's see. We're going to try to get to as many readings as we can. In a little while, we'll switch into the workshop aspect of what we're doing. And part of our workshop is to do tarot magic together for the healing of those who are sick and for the healing of the world. And TK, Karen just said it's 2 a.m. in India, and there's a lot of people here from India. So a shout out to all of you in India. Thank you so much for being here, even though it is late in the evening for you or early in the morning. And Karen Maynard, nice to see you. Glad you're here. Oh, Marion, it was you who said to use the @ sign. And it highlights the person's name. Thank you, Marion. Marion is often my coach for YouTube. I've had my YouTube channel since like 2014. But really, what I usually do is just put videos there and don't really think about it. So I'm trying to learn all the YouTube stuff. Marion's been very, very helpful with that. Okay. Lots of readings going on. Hey, Kat, welcome. You're here for the first time. Glad you're here. Okay. And Irene had a comment about 30-minute reading. She says it's usually 2 questions and for her, and the questions will determine the sort of spread she uses. So that's a good way to do it as well. Okay, Rosas Illyrios. Did I pronounce that correctly? What does the divine want me to know about my relationship with them? Your relationship with the divine. Okay, so if you would like to read for Rosas, go ahead. Put the @ sign at Rosas Illyrios. What does the divine want me to know about my relationship with them? Very good question. The Hermit reversed, which I often see as like, you don't always have to take us so seriously. We can have fun with you. We are your friends. We're here with you. No, Marion, you're not bossy. You're helpful. So we are your friends. We're here with you. We are your friends. Okay. Maurice, Talking about the 3-card reading, which Sonia also rang in on. For the 30-minute reading, 3 cards for 30 minutes. And Karen says, well, that's great to ponder. I usually just do what my intuition tells me at the time. Okay, let's do a reading for Suzanne Averman. What does the universe want Suzanne to know? If you'd like to read for Suzanne, go ahead and put her name in. You can say at Suzanne Averman. And the name of the card you got and your interpretation. What does the universe want her to know? The Hanged Man reversed. It is time for you to take control. There are some things going on in your life that you need to take control of. Okay. Lots of great readings going on. Thank you guys for sharing. Okay, D9. D9 wants to know, will I get an opportunity to get a puppy this year? There's a waiting list with the local breeders. Okay, if you'd like to read for D9, do we see a puppy in the future? Go ahead at D9, D-E-E and the numeral 9. The name of the card you got and your interpretation. Do you see a puppy? Ace of Swords reversed. It may not happen this year. Maybe other people would be more hopeful. Okay, for Betty Flesher, what do I need to do to stop practicing tarot and actually read for someone on a professional level? Still unsure of my ability. What a great question. And you know, let's do the reading. I think we should do this one 2 ways. One is to do the reading, pull a card. But the other is for those of you who are successful professional readers, do you have any advice? What is your advice for getting started? So you can do it as a reading or you can simply give advice. I'm going to do it as a reading. And it's for Betty Flesher. The Lovers. You know, we're always practicing. You know, the thing is, we are always practicing. There is never a time that we're not practicing. We're always learning. We're always students. I think this is about integrating yourself with your practice. And I think part of it is you have to practice more with others, to read for others. And to send, we're online, we're in quarantine. So I think you can reach out to people and say, hey, do you want to do a video call? Let me read for you. Let's trade readings and work with people. I was just reading for people for fun, for cookies, for whatever, for 8 years. Before I went professional, I did a ton load of readings. And it was that really gave me the confidence. So I feel like it is practicing, and it's practicing reading for others and then looking at how are those readings for others going and what are you learning from them? I think that's the key. Okay, here's a question from Linda Tierney. And we'll keep on. I'll get to as many questions as I can before it's time to move on. We may not be able to get to everyone, but we'll try. Okay, for Linda Tierney, would a move to Ocala for me be good? If you'd like to, at Linda Tierney, name of the card, your interpretation. 5 of Swords, I feel like it would be difficult. That doesn't necessarily, Linda, mean it would be bad, but it would not be easy. Okay, Style and Chica, my friend Peely. I'm still without a job since January. Is the universe trying to tell me to change direction, other industry? Any advice for the cards? What should we do? Okay, go ahead. If you'd like to read for Style and Chica, go ahead and at Style and Chica, the name of the card you got. What should she do about getting a job? Ooh, the Devil. I think there are some things you need to consider. Do you want to do something different? Is it time to go back to school? I think that the universe is trying to tell you something. You just have to figure out what it is. Okay. Lots of readings going on. I appreciate that. Okay, for Aaron Farmer, how can I best move forward with my mental health difficulties in finishing school? If it's too broad, don't worry about it. No, we got you. Okay, at Aaron Farmer, let's see what we got here. The Hierophant. You definitely do need to do school. And honestly, for me, the Hierophant is very much about, in this case, finding the right doctor, the right therapist, the right medication, and disciplining yourself to do the school. It ain't easy, but you can do it. And you will. Okay, regarding the what do you do for a 30-minute reading? Ayana says, I'm a novice. I don't have a favorite spread for a 30-minute reading. I'm here to learn. Fair enough. Okay, lots of stuff going on here, lots of readings. Okay, looking for more questions. So tell you what, let me share, for those of you who are looking for spreads and looking to learn, let me just share with you too a great 7-card spread. It's called the Seven Sisters, also called the rainbow spread or the horseshoe spread. And you do it in a horseshoe. 7 cards. Ready? Get ready to write this down. Past, present, future, significator. That's the person that you're reading for. If you're reading for yourself, it's you. If you're reading for someone else, it's them. A person or energy close to the querent. So if you're reading for yourself, it's a person or energy close to you, or if you're reading for someone else, a person or energy close to them. The next one is the problem, the challenge, and then the final outcome. 7 cards, easy, fun. There's a lot you can do with that. Hey, Giselle, nice to see you. Glad you're here. Okay, Carol, how many readers are feeling that there's more to this pandemic than we're being told? I'm so confused. So, you know, there's a lot of conspiracy theory going on right now, and I have to say, you know, I think we have to be really careful about spending too much of our time at home diving into conspiracy theory. You know, there's questions about where it's coming from and, you know, what caused it. There's questions, I think, in every country about preparedness or the best way to deal with it. But I have seen recently, and I don't know what you're seeing that's confusing you, but I've seen some things recently that are really bugging me because it's so dangerous, you know? It is so dangerous. I've seen today, I've had 3 different people try to tell me that it's not as dangerous as it seems, and that this is something people are doing to try to control us. And I have too many people that I know that are fighting for their lives right now to even give any quarter to that. So if your question is the pandemic real? Yeah, it really is. If your question is, where did it start? Who started it? What started it? There may be some questions about that, but right now, does it matter? What matters is, how do we stop it? And I know that there are great scientific minds right now working on cures, working on vaccines. And as is true with any contagious disease, social distancing right now is the right thing. And I'm terrified because I see so many people who are refusing to do the social distancing. And the idea that, you know, that our governments are using this to try to control us, no, absolutely not. Right, Dina, refrigerator trucks in New York City for the dead, say something. Yeah, absolutely. Divine, I used to be into conspiracy in the past. If you put your energy, sorry, went by too fast. Let me try to find what she was saying here. Okay. If you put your energy into it and if you believe in the subconscious, we'll get the proof we're right. So here's the thing though. This is where intuition is a really funny thing. Because people, and if you're a professional reader, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about here. People will say, about anything, I'm sure this guy is going to be my future husband, or I'm sure that space aliens are here doing this and that, or whatever it is. And they use their intuition as proof. And I think that it's a hard thing because in psychic development, we tell people to trust their intuition. But how do you know the difference between intuition and what you want to believe or what you're afraid of? How do you know the difference between intuition and anxiety? And so I think we have to be really, really careful with that. Marion says, the who, what, or why doesn't matter at this point. What matters is doing the right thing and keeping away from people and social distancing. Yeah. Aaron, I took more time off work because people aren't taking the social distancing seriously and the risk isn't worth it when I live with high-risk parents. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Light frequency healing. Giselle, my son is on the front line and the virus is real. Absolutely. Absolutely. And Suzanne says intuition can be a type of crutch too. Yeah, very, very true. Very true. Sonia, fear is creating stress and increasing cortisol levels, making one susceptible to feeling ill. Very true. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so lots of readings still continuing. I'm going backwards now. I'm scrolling back to try to pick up readings that we've missed. Inked Witchy Girl. Can I remain optimistic that my relationship will continue to flourish and we will commit to moving in with each other? If you'd like to read here, at Inked Witchy Girl, one card. What do you see? Will this relationship move forward? Ooh, Ten of Swords. There may be some issues here. There's some question as to whether you want it to move forward, really. Definitely some communication and things that you need to deal with. Okay, and I'm just scrolling backwards, trying to pick up any questions. Okay. For light frequency healing, that's Giselle. If you'd like to read for her, at Light Frequency Healing. Should she teach online? The moon, hell yes. Absolutely, you should. You might be afraid of the technology in some way, but don't be. Just learn it. It's easy. If I can do it, anyone can do it. Seriously. Okay. So, if you're still doing readings, go ahead and finish up the readings. But I'd like to now sort of move us in. I wanted to have some conversation about tarot reading and then move into our tarot magic ritual for healing. And so, we had one question, just coming in from Lynn Sexton. The pandemic needs to be taken seriously. I can't believe the people that aren't taking it seriously. So scary. I know. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So I have some questions here. One of the questions about tarot reading was good spreads or how to do a 30-minute reading. And I thought we got some fun answers there. But the real answer there that I saw was everybody has their own way of doing it. And so when we talk about coming together as a group to learn, I think the thing that we learn is we each share our own ideas and our own way of doing things. And if you hear an idea that you like, you can try it. But the thing is, I don't think any two people read tarot the same way. And so we all have our own ideas here. And that's okay. And that's the way it should be. So, any other, I want to move away from readings, I want to move away from reading for each other and now move into skill development. And what I want to talk about specifically is the lockdown, is the coronavirus, and the fact that, we are a worldwide community here. And Dina says, thank you for your spread ideas. Good, glad you found it helpful. We're a worldwide community. We're all doing readings in one way or another. And my question is, and I did a blog post on this today, it's on my website, christianagaudet.com. How has the coronavirus, the lockdown, social distancing, whatever, how has this shown up in your readings? And I think I saw Kim Essex come into the room. Glad you're here. And, we'd been talking in another meeting about how I've been very hopeful through this whole thing, because in the months leading up to this crisis, in the readings I did, I didn't see doom and gloom for people. Now, in the months leading up to the financial crisis of 2008, I saw a lot of people buying houses that they couldn't afford. And so I was looking back and what did I see? In the time leading up to this, I did see a lot of canceled trips. I did see, different things for individuals that ended up being true during this quarantine time. So what am I seeing now? The thing that is showing up a lot now is the Seven of Swords, specific to greater risk for catching the virus. Okay, and Lynn Ostrom, I'm getting a ton of Ten of Pentacles in mind. What does that mean? Talk to me. Talk to me about how you're interpreting that in this context and what it means. So for me, the Seven of Swords is at greater risk for getting the virus or having it go really serious, and having people around you who aren't social distancing and therefore are putting people at risk. So that's something I've been seeing a lot recently. Dina said, someone tweeted that in their readings, now they pull a card on how COVID-19 will affect the situation. So just adding that into every reading you do. Okay, how's COVID for you? That's a great idea. I like that. Providencia. Getting to know who you are is very important. Oh, right. Back to our conversation regarding trusting our intuition. Getting to know who you are is very important when we work on developing and trusting our intuition. Yeah, absolutely. And I think another piece of that question about how do we know and trust our intuition, is we have to be able to separate from our desires, our fears, our anxieties. We have to separate from all of that. We have to come to a place of detachment to do that. And Lynn, back to the Ten of Pentacles, it speaks of all of us being at home where it's safe and secure. Oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. I love it. I love it. Okay, let's see. And also watching our finances. Yeah, that totally makes sense. What else is showing up for you? I was really hopeful. I was reading for someone yesterday and they got the Chariot in an upright position. For the longest time, it's been Chariot reversed, 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 canceled trip, canceled trip, canceled trip. Even before I knew why. Oh, it looks like that trip is going to be canceled. Yesterday, I read for someone and they got the Chariot. It looks like they will be planning a trip. So that made me feel good. Brenda said, I'm getting the Sun reversed lately for social distancing, and Ten of Wands reversed for finding a way to release all the emotions that come with the pandemic. Yeah, very good. And what I wrote about today was cards that have been showing up more frequently for me in general, the World and the Hermit. The World, of course, being that this is a worldwide thing, and the Hermit being, the loneliness of social distancing, but also the educational opportunity that social distancing affords us. And Brenda said, same with 4 of Pentacles upright and reversed. Makes sense. Marion said, for me, in the readings I've been doing, it's more an abundance of the suit of swords. To me, it shows we have to be logical during this time. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Absolutely. So I'd love to hear so we've got really 2 conversations going on right now. One about intuition and how do you separate out fear, desire, anxiety from intuition to really know your intuition. And number 2, how have the cards been showing up about the pandemic? Okay, and we've still got some readings going on too. Kim Essex, I pulled the death card. I know it's not always death, but I worry because they're making us keep reporting to the welfare offices to do our work, even though people have been tested positive there. So, I read for someone today who was going through the exact same thing where they're reporting to work. People there are positive, have been positive, COVID positive, and the supervisors aren't doing anything about it. What are you supposed to do? So hard, such a difficult thing. And so maybe that's something to read on too. And the person I was reading for today, we did pull cards about what are you supposed to do. And for him, because he's also a cardiac patient, so he's high risk, it was just say no. Even if it means losing your job, just say no. Okay, Jill says, I just pulled the Hermit. Stay alone and meditate. Too many neighbors are gathering in garages. Go figure. Yeah, that's happening in my neighborhood too. Betty, I've gotten for the virus 6 of Wands and strength. We're going to get through this and be much stronger after. And you know what, Betty? That goes along with my theory that here in the U.S., between June and August, we'll be able to come out of hiding. 6 of Wands for June and 8 for August. So that goes along with that. Carol, I've been in quarantine since the 11th and keep pulling the 7 of Wands quite often, which, so often that 7 of Wands is, I'm alone. I have to defend myself. All these things are coming at me. How do I handle all of this? Dina says, Tarot by Hillary had done a card a month and Death Reversed was the card for March. The Mystic Monday card showed a skull with blackness escaping into the air. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? All righty. So what if we were to do this before we move into the magical portion of our program? What if we were to all pull a card for ourselves and share what that is? And let's have that be, for each one of us, what do I need to know or do about the pandemic right now? What do I need to know or do about the pandemic right now? And here's mine. I got the Queen of Swords reversed, which for me says I need to not overthink it. I need to not trip out about it, because it's hard. It's worrisome. This is like the hardest thing. Both of my parents have passed on. And I actually said to myself, as much as I miss my parents, I'm glad they're not here to deal with it. I'm glad I don't have to worry about them. I have enough time worrying about my husband, my mother-in-law, my kids. So, that's some weird, trippy stuff. Okay. For Betty, also for me concerning the virus, I enjoy my husband working from home. Right. I take care of my mother and she's here with me safe and secure. Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Lynn Sexton says 4 of Pentacles for the pandemic. Brenda was saying that too. Money on our minds and holding on to it for tight budgeting. Ayana, Ace of Cups. What do you think about that? For TK, Karen, strength. It means I need patience and I need to wait till May, June to start partying. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Jean Mnuchin, Page of Wands reversed. Learn to be inactive and accept that. Right, right. And like, what are the things you're doing? I will tell you, I am as locked down and quarantined as I possibly can be because I'm high risk. But I'm meeting with my daughter over FaceTime and we're doing YouTube exercise videos together. We just did Zumba today. We're doing Zumba, yoga, Pilates, all that. It's been a lot of fun. Let's see. Lots of readings here. Good job, you guys. Nicola, my card for the month for my yearly reading is the Hermit, and just pulled the Hermit again for what I need to do or know. That is so great. Dina, Page of Cups, keep feeling youthful optimism and learn new things. Heck yeah. Karen Maynard, I got the 10 of Pentacles, continue hanging at home with my hubby and pets and everything will be cool. Heck yeah. Jill, what I need to do, temperance, don't go crazy, don't freak out, protect myself, mask, wipes, stay away from people and try to be productive. Hell yes. And you're a writer. You know what you need to do. Suzanne Averman, the Fool. I need to be able to let go of certain ways of being and be open to a new way and trust. Brenda Elizabeth, Eight of Wands reversed. Be mindful of how much news and social media I ingest. Oh, yeah. David, card for me. It was a jumper. The World. All will be well. Use this opportunity to expand horizons. I get a lot of jumpers. I'm a little bit klutzy. I got it. Kyla, so happy to see you. 9 of Pentacles. What do you think about that? Should you do some gardening? Should you know that you're secure? Dawn Theory, Queen of Wands. Get creative. Absolutely. Freedom fighter for the next generation. First time live, right here from Amsterdam. Glad you're here. Lynn Ostrom, Four of Swords. Don't overthink it. Enjoy the break from work. Very good. And remember, too, the Four of Swords can be a card of meditation. Irene, Five of Wands. Listen to people around. Create healthy communication with people. Beautiful. Freedom fighters in hermit mode. Martha Smith, Queen of Cups reversed, finding emotional balance, neither shutting down nor being a weepy mess. Yeah, hard. It's hard. And psychically, we feel the whole weight of everything, I read for 2 people yesterday from New York City, and oh my gosh, it's crazy there. Okay, Boondocker Tarot, Hierophant reverse. What are your thoughts about that? For me, that could be about thinking outside the box, doing things differently, creating new rituals and traditions. Marion, Death, time for a new start, I hope. Okay, Aaron Farmer, what to do? 5 of Swords, pick your battles. Yeah, absolutely. And you had mentioned, Aaron, a particular battle that you're working on. Maybe time to do that. Providencia, Ace of Cups. So that's a good one. Open heart, spreading the love. Okay. And the world jumped out for Nancy as well. Nancy Ennist. The world jumped out for her. That's 2 people who had the world jump out. And I think, it is a worldwide thing. But I have to believe that means that the world is going to be okay. Boondocker, yes. Creativity, and I missed that last one. Creativity, and I missed it. I'll come back to it. I'll find it. Okay. Kim Essex, I pulled the 7 of Swords, right? And you're at risk at work. And I see the 7 of Swords as being at risk. So I feel like, I don't know what you're going to do about that. We saw that Navy captain who now himself has COVID that spoke out for his people and got fired. And I'm not here to discuss military protocol or any of that. I'm just saying there's a lot of situations where if you speak out, you may risk your job. But if you don't speak out, there's an issue there. Carol, 8 of Wands. I'm impatient and maybe I just need to start living in the moment and start worrying about tomorrow. Yeah, seriously. Kylie's 9 of Pentacles. I think it means I'm dealing with this better than I thought I could and supporting others. Lynn Sexton, 4 of Pentacles again. Sit tight. And you know what else? The 4 of Pentacles can also be about having good boundaries, which speaks to social distancing, and self-care, that this is a great time for personal self-care. Creativity and originality. That was it, Boondocker Tarot. Betty, I just got the 4 of Swords also. This is a recovery period. Chill out and recharge the batteries. Christiana, what is your ritual to clear energy from you? Oh, good one, good one. Well, first of all, I have a ritual to not let energy stick to me. I call it the psychic condom. It is what I do all the time to create good psychic hygiene. And so energy does not really stick to me. And I'll share that with you very, very quickly. I start in the root chakra. I send energy down, legs, feet, into the earth, ground into the earth like roots, bring energy up, 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 all the way out of the crown in all directions like a fountain, back down into the earth and keep it cycling through. A lot of people do a bubble, a shield, but I keep the energy cycling all the way so it never sticks to me. Now, that said, at the end of a reading, I will do one of these. So, okay, Provi, got the sun upright. There's been a deep peace that surfaced for me during this time. Okay, Boondock originality, going to have to do things different in this different world. That's right. That's right. And Freedom Fighter got this King of Swords and Justice. Good stuff. Good stuff. So what would you see for that? For the King of Swords and Justice, I would say know what is true and be a leader. Both of those cards, what they have in common is about doing the right thing. Doing the right thing. Okay, so now we've been pulling cards, but the thing about tarot magic, using tarot to manifest, is we don't pull cards at random. We find cards for our intention. Dina says, cool, running energy like water is cleaner. Yeah. Yeah, it works so well. And I do a lot of readings. I am a full-time reader. This is what I do. And so I can do, 11, 12 readings in the course of a day and be ready to go out dancing afterwards. Well, not now, but, and it's that energy cycle. Betty says, I ask Archangel Michael to surround me with a white light of protection. Sure, absolutely. All right. So, tarot magic. And, there's so many things we want to think about here. So, I'm going to tell you what we're going to do, and then we're going to do it. What we're going to do is I'm going to lead you in a, that's what I'm doing right now from Freedom Fighter. That's what I'm doing right now, taking charge and leading the home life. That's right. That's right. Ayana says that is an excellent repellent ritual and it totally works. Yes, 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 yes. Style and Chica, Ace of Pentacles. Looks like you're going to get a new job. How cool is that? All right. So here's what we're going to do. I am going to start with leading you in just a short meditation. And then I'm going to ask each of you to think of one thing. It can be for yourself or for another person. One thing that is a concern for you. It could be for your country. It could be for the world. It could be for a particular person. It could be for yourself, for your family. One thing that is a concern during this time. And to cognitively choose a card that would be the remedy for that. For example, right now, a member of our community, Wald Amberstone of the Tarot School and Reader Studio, is in a New York hospital right now fighting for his life with COVID. And if I were to dedicate this for me, I would put that energy toward Wald and I would say, okay, for Wald, I am going to choose for Wald. I would choose for Wald, and you might look through your cards and choose one, or you might know in your head which card you want and go find it. And what I wanted was the Two of Cups. And then we will say, and I'll say it aloud, and you'll say it aloud, but also type it in. I'm doing this as an example. I choose the Two of Cups for Wald Amberstone, that he know healing through the medical community, and that both of his lungs be clear and well. He has pneumonia in both his lungs, and that he and Ruth Ann live and love and prosper together, so mote it be. So that's the idea. So we'll start with a meditation, and then I'll ask each of you to come up with a particular magical goal for yourself, for your family. It could be, I need a new job. It could be, I need money to get through this time. It could be, I want all of my neighbors to social distance. It could be, I want better social distancing or better protection at my job. It could be, I want my family to stay healthy. Whatever you want. And then find cognitively the card that provides the remedy, and aloud and type what the card is and why. Okay? So join me now, just in a quick meditation. I'm going to ask you, and thank you for that, Nicola. Thank you. Brenda Elizabeth, Six of Wands, complete recovery for Wald. Okay, so now let's start with a quick meditation. I just want you to focus on breathing and raising your energy. Raising your energy to come to that place where you can direct your energy toward your intention, to attune to that energy of magic, to recognize tarot as a deck of 78 magical tools, to own your ability to wield these tools, and to focus in on your goal. And now as you breathe, I want you to think about your goal. What is your magical goal for this ritual? And of course, you can do this ritual every day with a different goal if you like. But as we gather together, the power of gathering together is we hold space and energy for our own goal, but also for the goals of each person in this group. For the goals of each person in this group. What are our goals? Hold your goal, hold the card, type it in. And as you type it in, I will read it and we will all hold energy for each other. Karen, strength card to resist illness. So mote it be. Freedom fighter, star card for my husband to get his papers from immigration. So mote it be. And justice goes well with that. Absolutely. And of course, as we do this, we visualize it. We visualize what we want happening, not as a wish or as a prayer, but as a reality right here and right now. Dina, the world card for universal health care for all Americans. So mote it be. And I will choose the King of Wands for my Aries husband, who is the one in the family who goes out to get the groceries. May he stay healthy and well during this time. Kyla's star card for my fiance to keep his spirits up and stay healthy while in prison. So mote it be. Dawn Theory, the sun to protect me with its healing rays in my work as a nurse. So mote it be. Nicola, perfect health and powerful economic success for all. The world. D, the sun for work and a dog. Betty, the star, hope, healing, and good health for anyone fighting this unseen enemy. Aaron, the Eight of Wands to move forward with motivation and inspiration toward my goals, both psychological and scholarly. So mote it be. Boondocker, Nine of Cups for good health for all. So might it be. David, judgment that the immune system in each of us rise to stop the pandemic within each of us. So mote it be. Kim, Two of Cups, that we find greater connection from having gone through this together. Oh, that's beautiful. So mote it be. Karen, Ace of Pentacles for myself, my husband, and anyone I've ever touched, cared for, and known in my life to be healthy and prosperous. So mote it be. Brenda, Temperance for healing, balance, magic, and protection for healthcare and essential workers. So mote it be. Martha, Three of Cups, keeping my family healthy through joy and celebration. So mote it be. Suzanne Averman, the Ten of Cups, may all be held in love. So mote it be. Style and Chica, Nine of Cups to be financially independent and find a job that I love and it loves me. So mote it be. Marion, the Star card, so that my Aquarius knows the true power, healing, and love that is around him and within him. So mote it be. So do you see how quickly and easily we can use these cards to bring an energy? From Jean, Ace of Wands, remember that moving forward, there will be a time for creative vision that will be of benefit to others. TK, I am an essential employee. Thank you. Roses, death was the first one I saw on the Shadowscapes. It's a phoenix. I pray to conjure up that we all, the whole world, spiritually and physically, rise up from the ashes of this tragedy and be reborn. Amen, I say. Absolutely. Nancy, Six of Wands, so my family and loved ones will come out of this healthy. So mote it be. Absolutely. Now, I want you to consider, too, that we can also use these cards to banish something, to let something go. And so now, perhaps you would like to do a card of release, something that you would like to release. And what I would like to release is about division. The people and the things and the thoughts that sow division. And my way of doing a releasing is to take the card, name it, and slam it face down on the table and say, be gone. And so if there is something that you would like to release, write release, the name of the card, what you're releasing, and then end it with be gone. Okay. So Lynn, Temperance, healing and protection for all, especially frontline people. Discovery, oh, hallelujah, what a good way to use the Temperance card. Discovery of the potion and medication that will solve this. Temperance is the right card for that. Irene, the high priestess, to hold the highest vibration to win this challenging time. Beautiful, yes. Deborah, Empress, global healing and abundance for all humanity, especially those on the front lines. Absolutely, absolutely. That's beautiful. So I choose to release something, the Five of Swords, that those who sow the seeds of division, that those who spread lies that are dangerous to us, have their tongues silenced so that we may be able to hear each other and speak with each other. To division, I say, be gone. Absolutely. And so, as with all magic, we can use tarot to bring things to us and to release things from us. Nine of Swords, to release catastrophic thinking. Be gone. So mote it be. Absolutely. And so in our daily practice, this is something that we can do every day to either bring things into our life or to release things. The Tower, releasing despair, chaos, crisis, and misery and bad fortunes. Be gone. Change is here. Beautiful. Beautiful. So feel free to continue to share things that you'd like to release or things that you'd like to attract. And feel free to do this as part of your tarot practice. All the way through for the rest of our time together here, and also in your life. Banish lies, Seven of Swords, lies be gone. Nine of Swords, worry and fear and sleepless nights be gone. Queen of Pentacles, I will for myself, my family, and others to come into alignment with Mother Nature, so that we may heal, restore, and be prosperous moving forward. So might it be. Five of Wands, to release pulling against each other and work together to heal and move forward. Be gone. Nine of Swords, to release this waking nightmare we are in. Be gone. Releasing the Devil to be able to break whatever is holding me back. Be gone. Seven of Swords, I release the things that are stealing our time, resources, and peace. The illness and those who speak in hatred, lies, and to sow fear are not welcome here. Be gone. So powerful. Release the Five of Cups. No more mourning, loss, or sorrow for this virus. Be gone. The Sun, we will be celebrating the end of the crisis soon. So mote it be. Dina says, thank you for this wonderful practice. Yeah, now I'll share some more too for your home practice. If you happen to have a printer, most of us do, if you really want to do some releasing magic, you can print out one of these releasing cards and rip it up or burn it. And that feels really good too. I enjoy doing this kind of work and I find it very, very helpful. Ten of Swords, I release the painful ending of the pandemic and may it result in unity and compassion in mankind for each other. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Releasing the Hierophant, releasing the competition between authoritarian institutions that is making this difficult for us to respond to the virus. Very good. Be gone. I release the Ten of Swords, allowing the many who suffer to save the face of the few. I release this so we can focus on a solution. Saving face, be gone. Oh, that's brilliant. Very, very good. Release the Devil, the chains of indecision, fear, and uncertainty. Be gone. Absolutely. Absolutely. So we're coming to the last 15 minutes. Hey, Arlene, nice to see you. We're coming to the last 15 minutes of our time together. If you have other things to attract or release, go ahead and add them. And Betty, I'm so burning a couple of these cards today. Yes, seriously, it feels great. And it really does work. That's the thing, you guys. It feels good in the moment, but it also really works. Death, that the sickness and deaths be a renewal through difficult times. So now, okay, so we spoke a little bit about conspiracy theories. But I also want to share a spiritual theory and see what you think about this. Releasing the moon, where our subconscious fears cause us to hoard the toilet paper. Be gone. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So, I've been in the New Age world since the 80s. And I've been in psychic studies really since the 70s. And for a long time, and maybe you guys have heard about this, we have spoken about the shift. The idea that there is a shift in consciousness on the planet, that the vibrational energy of the planet is changing, that there is a shift. There are Native American prophecies about this. We sang about it being the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Yeah, I know I'm old. But this idea of a planetary shift, have you heard of it? Do you believe that it's happening? And do you believe that on a spiritual level, that what is going on right now is part of that? Oh, Brenda, that's hilarious. That root chakra fears equal toilet paper hoarding. That's hilarious. That is so funny. I love it. I love it. So what do you guys think? Have you heard of the shift? Do you think it's a real thing? And do you think this is part of it? And I'm going to do a reading on that. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you'd like to read on that too, I would love to hear. Okay, so my first question is the shift a real thing? Is there a planetary shift? Death, I would say yes, there is. Okay. Five of Pentacles, release feelings of desperation and isolation about health and financial problems. So might it be. Martha says the shift. Yes, yes, yes. Martha is with me. Okay. So, divine. I came for this. I felt since a child that the world would change for a better. Me too. Agree. David Victor, shift happens. Boondocker, yes, please do. Absolutely. Shannon, absolutely, this is the shift. Mother Earth is creating it for us. And Rosa said, great cards for invocation, banishment, everyone. Be blessed. Yeah, that was good. That was a great exercise. Thank you, everyone, for doing that. So thoughts for the shift, readings for the shift. What are good questions we can ask about the shift? Ayana says, Christiana, I'm almost 43. You're young. And so I know that song. And yes, there's absolutely a shift. Beautiful. Yeah, so that's the other side of that, where Kim Essex, you are on it. I really look forward to meeting you in person. Maybe you'll come to StarCon, our tarot conference to be held in January after this is all over in Palm Beach Gardens. I worry about some Christians who seem to be welcoming the end of times. Yeah, I think that's so dangerous. Dina got the Chariot. Something is moving. Betty says, when you say a shift, what exactly does it mean? Is it good or bad? It's probably first one, then the other. It probably goes through some changes that are difficult, and then comes into a more peaceful, more just, more sustainable planet. So then does everyone else agree with me about what the shift is? That we go through some rocky times, but then we come out a more verdant, more just, more sustainable planet. For the shift, Aaron says, I just pulled Earth Rapture from the Soul Oracle deck. Heck yeah. Oh, Nicola, how can we best perceive the shift? There's a good question. Marion says, yes, it is happening, especially with Saturn moving into Aquarius. We are at the precipice of this new world. Irene, for the shift, the world reverse, starting anew. Dawn, yes to the shift, and thank you for today. Kim, I'd love to meet you in person. Plan on coming to Palm Beach Gardens in January. Style and Chica, I pulled 7 of Swords to your first question about the shift, if it's real. Interesting. What do you think about that? Martha, the shift is like a birth, painful, a long and hard process, but the result is wonderful. Brenda, virtual world is shifting us to prepare for the next dimension of non-physical living. Interesting. Shannon, to Betty's question, I feel like we need to stop our bad behavior to allow the earth to heal. No choice but to behave now. Deborah says, yes, I've heard of it. I believe this is part of it. David, to Betty, says it means change. Change is life. Part of the scientific definition of life is an organism that goes through certain changes. The only constant is change. Marion said, I read that the shift is like childbirth, and this stage we are in now is just the labor part. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, when we think about climate change, all of those things. Kim, I pulled the King of Swords for the shift and the Sun for the outcome. Yeah, absolutely. Ayana, many of us have been preparing for this energetic shift for a long time, and we have been experiencing birthing pains. Absolutely. And Karen had a jumper, the world reversed. That's the 3rd time in this group that the world has jumped out. What are we to think about that? I think certainly this is a worldwide thing. Jean, very good. The shift does not mean releasing personal responsibility, that it will just happen. So there's a question too, which is, what do I do to help the shift move in the right way? What do I do? 10 of Swords reversed. I think that's about personal healing, helping ourselves. Betty drew 9 of Cups for the shift. Comfort and material success coming. Beautiful. So let's go back to Provi with that 7 of Swords. Now, I had identified 7 of Swords, of course, having to do with a lot of what's going on the earth right now. Kylie says the pandemic is going to change everything everywhere. If that isn't a shift, what is? Fair enough. Absolutely. So you guys, we are coming to the end of our time together. I want to thank you so much. And as I said, even when we're able to meet in person again, we are still going to do these YouTube meetings as well. Karen, what does it mean that the most vulnerable of us are the ones suffering through this? Does anyone think about the 1 billion+ animals that have perished from fires a few months ago? Right. Well, it's true. It's a hard thing. And I think it's really about compassion, that we have to learn to take care of each other and take care of those who are vulnerable. Jean, I got the world reversed as a final outcome today. What do you think about that? The world keeps turning. There is not an end. I don't know. There it is. Style and Chica, regarding the 7 of Swords, maybe the shift is subtle and sneaky. Oh, interesting. Deborah, yes, I agree. Shift. I pulled 7 of Cups, then the Sun. Kim, that Sun card for outcomes. Some people have pointed out that our lockdown is great for the environment. Less driving and other activities that cause pollution. Divine, yes, definitely. The computer got stuck when you said change, and it changed to another page, and there's a 2222. That's hilarious. Boondocker, 10 of Wands, Earth is stressed and exhausted. Kim, it does feel like Mother Nature is teaching us a lesson. Lynn, definitely part of the shift. Humanity will be forever changed after this. Mother Earth will have a chance to heal as we take the environment more seriously. Okay, yay for the animals. Yes, absolutely. From Ayana, 8 of Wands, time to take action. David, pulled a card for the shift, Devil reversed, release of chains and false assumptions and destructive thought. Okay, you guys, so in our final moments, I like to do shameless self-promotion. Deborah, I pulled 8 of Cups, not 7 of Cups, and Sun for the shift. So moving on to something brighter. So if you have a web page, a YouTube channel, a book, anything you would like to promote, go ahead and drop it in the comments. And okay, so my webpage is christianagaudet.com. I also want you to go to starcon.com. Starcon is spelled with two A's, Staarcon. That is Southeastern Tarot Artist and Readers Conference.com. Ticket sales have begun. Early bird specials are in effect. We would love to have you. Before that, of course, though, I've got some online classes coming up. And so keep an eye on my webpage. Keep an eye on my newsletter. If you do not receive my weekly newsletter, Tarot Topics, please go to my webpage, christianagaudet.com, and sign up for my newsletter. If we're not friends on Facebook, why not? Please subscribe to this channel if you have not already, and please like this video. And if you have not liked my Facebook business page, Christiana Gaudet, please do. All the events are there. And I am doing premium classes on Zoom. I will be doing one a month. And I started that again when this started. I moved my regular classes onto Zoom. But now that we're doing it, the Zoom classes are going to continue even when I can start doing classes here in Palm City once again. So our next Zoom class, by the way, is coming up this month. And there are free classes here on YouTube. What I've done is I've moved all my free stuff to YouTube and my premium stuff to Zoom. And the premium stuff, each class is $37.50 American. And our next Zoom class is April 23rd. It is the Major Arcana, Magical and Mundane. We are going to look at the Major Arcana both in terms of what it can mean in a reading, what its spiritual lessons are, and how we use those cards in magic. So it's a really deep dive into the Major Arcana. You know, one thing that I speak about a lot is that we often say that the Major Arcana is always spiritual things, the Minor Arcana, always mundane things. In a reading, that is not so. And so that's something we are going to be working on. I see a lot of thank yous coming in and a lot of goodbyes. Thank you all for being here. If it were just me yammering on for an hour and a half, this would be a very boring session. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of it. Really appreciate it. There's lots of promotions going down in the comments. Please follow each other, help each other, be a community, share with each other, and thank you all for sharing here with me today. I am also Christiana Tarot on Instagram. So thank you for following me and for being there. And thank you all. We'll go for the next 2 minutes. So anyone you want to say goodbye to, anything you want to share, go ahead. I thank you all so much for being here. And I really appreciate your presence here. Oh, and I will let you know, those of you who were in my last Zoom class, I'll be sending you an email so that you can see the recorded class. And those of you who were not in the last class, which was Finding Meaning in the Minor Arcana, if you would like to take the class via video, to have access to that video, and you have not taken the class, that will be available. You will be able to buy that. Okay. Well, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate your appreciation. I appreciate your presence. I appreciate your being here. I appreciate all the work we're doing together. And there's a couple of people saying that they feel a breakthrough is coming this week. I think so too. I think very soon we'll be able to gather together again. But you know what? The gift of the pandemic for me was being forced to create more of these online meeting spaces. And it means so much to me to be able to work with you and meet with you. And of course, for those of you watching an archive, if you got all the way here through the end, thank you so much for that. We appreciate that. And we've got, again, a lot of promotions coming through in the comments. So make sure you check each other out and help each other and support each other. I want to thank you all so much for being here. Be well, be safe. Do your social distancing, wash your hands, do what you got to do, and help each other. Help each other. And I see you guys, I'm going to keep this open for a couple more minutes because I see you guys exchanging contact info and working to help each other, which is exactly what I wanted to have happen. So I'll keep it open for a couple more minutes. Make sure that you contact each other, message each other, and help each other. Thank you so much.